Hello children, good morning. Welcome back to the class of biology. In the first part, we had discussed about natural resources. In that, we had defined what are natural resources, and in that we had talked about the biotic and the abiotic components. We also had discussed about the causes and effects of air pollution, water pollution and soil pollution. Now today in this session we'll be dealing with various cycles which are very important. I would like you to go through the video twice because these topics are really very important and may help you in your exams, and it will help you in your day-to-day routine also because these are related to your life processes. So please listen to the video very carefully and go through it very nicely. We'll talk today about the biogeochemical cycles. Now, what are these? We know that when we had talked about the biotic and abiotic components, we saw that when we were talking about the zones, the different spheres of the earth, then we saw how the interaction between the three different spheres helped the sustenance of life. Same way, there is a constant interaction between biotic and abiotic components of the biosphere, and it makes a system, and this flow of components form a cycle, and this cycle is termed as the biogeochemical cycle. Now there are some prominent cycles in nature, so let us see these cycles one by one. First we'll talk about water cycle. As in the previous video also we had discussed about the water cycle, but as we are talking about the prominent cycles for the interaction between biotic and abiotic components, we'll go through the water cycle once again. Now what is water cycle? It is the whole process in which the water evaporates and falls on the land as rain, and water flows back into the sea via rivers, is known as the water cycle. See how in 4 lines the water cycle is explained, and if we talk about the whole process, how the water cycle goes on, it is really a lifelong process. But as you see the figure, it will be very clear to you. You can see here that the 4 main processes that are connected with the cycle are evaporation, transpiration, respiration and condensation. You can see how the water on the surface, that is the surface water, it gets evaporated, and you can see on the land forms what happens when the rays of the sun falls. We had talked about the lower pressure area and the higher pressure area in the previous video, and we saw how the wind blows or the air blows from a region of high pressure to a low pressure, and thus this cycle keeps on going, and thus it forms the water cycle. Now here you can see the animation of the water cycle, and you can see how the water evaporates, it forms clouds, then it comes back as rain, again the water body fills up with the water. You can see the rain falling, you can see the heat of the sun, just see the arrow, and you'll come to know that it is a continuous process and is termed as water cycle. Okay, now as I said just now, what are the main steps involved in water cycle? They are evaporation, transpiration, respiration, precipitation and percolation and absorption. Now we had also talked about condensation, but it will come within this only. So let us see all these steps one by one. Evaporation. When the water on the earth changes to vapor due to the sun's heat and rises above. This process is termed as evaporation. Now in this lesson you have to learn a lot of definitions. I know this video is going to be very long, but as you have your unit test, I have tried to cover most of the topics in these videos. For this you need to go through the video again and again, and you can go through it in bits so that you can understand it well. Okay, the next process is transpiration. Now what is transpiration? When the plants absorb water through the roots and then gives off excess water in the form of vapor through pores in their leaves. This process is known as transpiration. You have learned this in 7th standard. It is just water, means water that is coming through the roots and the plants absorb it and then give off the excess water in the form of vapor. So this is transpiration. Now respiration. What is respiration? Respiration is a process in which living organisms involving are in the production of energy with the intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide along with water vapor. So this is what we do when we say that we respire, we breathe. So what do? We take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Don't think that only human beings consume oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Even plants do. In your lower classes, in your science period, I had explained you that we must not sleep under the tree during night. Now why we must not sleep under the tree at night? Because during the night time even plants take in oxygen. They respire during the night time. Because there is no sunlight, they do not make food, and during the night time the plants take in oxygen and they give out carbon dioxide. So if we sleep under the tree, then we may have problem in breathing. Okay, now let's move on to the next process, that is precipitation. What is precipitation? It is a process of condensation of water vapor in atmosphere into liquid which falls down in the form of rain, snow, sleet or hail. These are the different forms of water. Now when water vapor condenses, condensation means to cool down. So when the water vapor cools down and it turns into liquid, when I had explained the water cycle, I had explained you this, that how the cool air passes through the water vapor and how it cools down and forms the drops of water. Okay, so that is called precipitation. And the last two processes, that is percolation and absorption. So most of the precipitation soaks into the ground to reach the underground water. Some on land gets absorbed by the plants, crops and trees to grow, and rest flows downhill or runs off to reach the seas to complete the whole water cycle. परकोलेशन, परकोलेशन मतलब ग्राउंड में एब्जॉर्ब हो जाना. जो बारिश का पानी आता है, जो प्लांट्स उसको यूज़ करते हैं, तो थोड़ा पानी जो होता है वो प्लांट्स यूज़ कर लेते हैं, एनिमल्स यूज़ करते हैं, थोड़ा सरफेस वाटर के फॉर्म में कलेक्ट होता है, एंड द अदर वाटर, द रेस्ट ऑफ द वाटर इज सीप्ड इनटू द ग्राउंड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ग्राउंड वाटर. So that process is termed as percolation and absorption. Okay, now we move on to the next cycle. It's really a very important cycle and you really need to learn it very well, because even it will help you in your higher standards. This topic will again come in your higher standards, so you need to learn it very nicely. Okay, so what is nitrogen cycle? It is the sequence in which nitrogen passes from the atmosphere to the soil and organisms and then is eventually released back into the atmosphere. नाइट्रोजन जो होता है वो एटमॉस्फेयर से सॉइल में जाता है, ऑर्गेनिजम्स उसको यूज़ करते हैं और फिर से वो रिलीज़ होके वापस आके एटमॉस्फेयर में मिल जाता है. तो ये पूरा जब चक्कर पूरा होता है तो ख़त्म होती है नाइट्रोजन cycle. Again and again it is released, again it is absorbed, again it is released, and so it forms a nitrogen cycle. Okay, now let us see the steps that are involved in the nitrogen cycle. Before that, let's see the figure. You can see here how the bacteria fixes the nitrogen, how it gets converted into ammonia, how the nitrifying bacteria helps to nitrify the ammonia and turn it into NO3, and then how the last process, that is denitrification, it helps in the uh, again releasing the nitrogen into the atmosphere. Again from the atmosphere the nitrogen fixation takes place with the help of the bacteria, and this process goes on and on. You can see the animals, you can see the plants, how they use it, how they release it. Okay, now we'll see the processes that are involved. Nitrogen cycle involves the following processes. The first one is the nitrogen fixation. How does nitrogen fixation takes place, or what is it? Actually, it is a process by which atmospheric nitrogen is converted into the form which can be easily absorbed by the organisms on earth. Here by the is not written, but you understand it when you read. ओके, ऐसी प्रोसेस जिसमें एटमॉस्फेयर में जो नाइट्रोजन होता है वो ऐसे फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट होता है जो अर्थ के ऊपर जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स रहते हैं उनको अच्छी तरह से एब्जॉर्ब कर पाए. नाउ you can see how it takes place with the help of what processes. So first process, that is it's done by lightning. Now how lightning helps? So lightning, you have seen lightning and thunder, no? You have heard thunder and you have seen the lightning when it rains. So when lightning occurs, the high temperature and pressure that is created, that converts nitrogen and water into nitrates and nitrites. Now when it gets converted into nitrates and nitrites, then it gets dissolved in water, and then they are readily used by aquatic plants and animals. जो पानी में रहते हैं plants और animals, वो जब लाइटनिंग होती है और जो प्रेशर और टेम्परेचर क्रिएट होता है, वो ये नाइट्रोजन को नाइट्रेट्स और नाइट्राइट्स में कन्वर्ट करता है, और इस तरह से कन्वर्ट करता है कि एक्वेटिक एनिमल्स और प्लांट्स जो होते हैं वो उसको अच्छी तरह से एब्जॉर्ब करके यूज़ कर सके. Now I will not go into the detail of this figure, but you have to understand just the conversion of nitrogen into nitrates and nitrites. Okay, the second factor is bacteria. Now how do bacteria help in nitrogen fixation? Now whatever molecular nitrogen is there, it is converted into nitrates and nitrites by free living bacteria, or the bacteria like rhizobium that is present in the root nodules. Now in this figure, this white thick one circles you can see, those are root nodules. Now this nitrogen fixing bacteria, you can see with this arrow how they fix the nitrogen, and they transform atmospheric nitrogen into free nitrogen. Okay, so some bacteria, they convert the nitrogen gas, that is N2, into ammonia, and that ammonia can be used by plants. So by this way bacteria helps in nitrogen fixation. The third process which helps in the nitrogen cycle is nitrification. Now what is nitrification? It is the process by which ammonia is converted into nitrites and nitrates. Now see, नाइट्रोजन में से बना अमोनिया, और अमोनिया में से कन्वर्ट हुआ नाइट्रेट्स एंड nitrites. Now in this figure you can see the atmospheric nitrogen, you can see the denitrifying bacteria, you can see the nitrates, You can see how the plants assimilate the nitrogen from the atmosphere. You can see this how the ammonia, here you can see the plants decomposes. Here you can see the nitrogen fixing soil bacteria, and how with this whole process, this is the whole process of nitrification by which the ammonia gets converted into nitrites and nitrates. Okay, the next process is ammonification. What is ammonification? It is the process by which the soil bacteria decompose dead organic matter and release ammonia into soil. अब अमोनिया कहाँ से बना? आगे हमने देखा कि डीनाइट्रिफिकेशन में अमोनिया जो होता है वो नाइट्रेट और नाइट्राइट्स में कन्वर्ट होता है. तो ये अमोनिया कहाँ से बनना है? तो अमोनिया इज मेड विद द हेल्प ऑफ द सॉइल बैक्टीरिया. नाउ व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ द सॉइल बैक्टीरिया? दे डीकम्पोज मतलब सड़ा देता है उसको. किसको सड़ा देता है? इट decomposes the dead organic matter and thus it releases ammonia into the soil. You can see here plants and animals, when they decompose the soil bacteria through the process of ammonification, it converts into ammonia. So this flow chart, with the help of this flow chart, you can understand how it does the process. Okay, now the third important cycle is the carbon cycle. Now what is the carbon cycle? The carbon cycle is the process by which carbon moves from the atmosphere into the earth and its organisms and then back again. देखा, इसमें भी जैसे नाइट्रोजन जाता है और वापस आता है, वैसे ही ये कार्बन भी. इट्स अ होल system. It is an interaction between the biotic and the abiotic components and how they work together and how they form the cycles in order to sustain life. I keep on saying this statement again and again so that you understand the cycles very well and you will come to know that घुमा फिरा के सब चीज़ें वापस एक में से दूसरी और दूसरे में से तीसरी और तीसरे में से पहली बन जाती है. एंड दस इट गोज़ ऑन एंड ऑन. Okay, now in this figure you can see the carbon cycle very clearly. You can see the landforms, you can see the water bodies, you can see how the smoke, how the fossil fuels they burn, and through the process of combustion they get into the atmosphere. Now plants prepare food with the help of photosynthesis, so they take in carbon from the air, and for the life forms you can see that the atmospheric carbon is released into the air. Now by the process of respiration and metabolism, again this carbon exchange takes place, and through the process of diffusion, what happens? The oceanic carbon that is collected in the water bodies. Now we'll see this whole process step by step, so just go through the next step. Okay, what does the carbon cycle involve? It involves the processes like photosynthesis, respiration, decomposition and combustion. Now here also you need to know the definition of each and you need to know the processes that are involved in it. Unless you come to know the processes, you will not be able to complete the whole cycle, because you may be asked to draw and explain the whole cycle, any one of them. So go through it one by one. Photosynthesis, as you have learned in your lower classes, it's not very difficult. You know that in this process plants form their food by absorbing the atmospheric carbon in the form of carbon dioxide gas, and they release oxygen gas. So it is just the exchange of gases in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. So the plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So that process is known as photosynthesis. Respiration again is the next process in which plants and animals respire, resulting in the breakdown of glucose stored in the plants and animals to release carbon dioxide, water and energy. तो अब प्लांट्स क्या कर रहे हैं, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को बाहर निकाल रहे हैं. Photosynthesis totally opposite. You can see that the plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. Here what happens? Here the breakdown of glucose takes place. So what is the chemical formula of glucose? It is C6H12O6. तो उसका ब्रेकडाउन होता है और उसमें से बनते हैं दो मॉलिक्यूल्स. किसके दो मॉलिक्यूल्स? एक बनता है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड और दूसरा बनता है वाटर. And in the formation of both of this, the energy is released. You have learned this in 7th standard. Okay, the third process involved is the decomposition. Now what happens in this process? The plants and animals get decomposed to release carbon into the environment. When the plants and animals decompose, they give out carbon dioxide. Now, how does the movement of carbon from the atmosphere takes place to the oceans? Oceans में कैसे कार्बन जाता है? तो the oceans and the other water bodies soak up. Soak up मतलब it takes in about a quarter of the carbon dioxide to form carbonates. जो plants और animals, water bodies जो होते हैं वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड ले लेते हैं और उसमें से कार्बोनेट्स बनाते हैं. इससे क्या होता है? द अमाउंट ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल टू द अमाउंट ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कंज्यूम्ड एंड सो द कॉन्सेंट्रेशन इन द एयर रिमेन्स सेम. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जो होता है वो बाहर जितना निकलता है उतना ही एब्जॉर्ब होता है, तो उसका बैलेंस बना रहता है और इसीलिए प्लांट्स भी अच्छी तरह से रह सकते हैं और एनिमल्स भी. भगवान ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से बैलेंस करके दिया है सब कुछ. एंड सो वी मस्ट ऑल्सो हेल्प द नेचर टू कीप दिस बैलेंस. अदरवाइज व्हाट वुड हैपन? डिजास्टर्स में हैपन, nature will get spoiled and we will be only responsible for all the causes of these disasters. Why? Because of our habits, because of our unknowingly we are just damaging the nature, or we are just doing things that causes harm to the nature. Okay, now let's move on to the next cycle, and that is the oxygen cycle. Now what is the oxygen cycle? Till now we have learned about the water cycle, the nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, and now we come to the next cycle, that is the oxygen cycle. It is the cyclic process by which oxygen element is circulated continuously through the living and non-living components of the biosphere, and this constitutes the oxygen cycle. ऑक्सीजन जो होता है वो सर्क्यूलेट होता है. टू सर्क्यूलेट मीन्स टू मूव continuously, not only in living components but also in the non-living components of the biosphere. Okay, here you can see the oxygen cycle, how through the process of photosynthesis the plants give out oxygen and the animals take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, and thus this process goes on and on. And this we just tell that plants and animals are interdependent because they have to depend on each other for their requirements. What are those requirements? Plants need carbon dioxide and we need oxygen. Okay, now the processes that are involved in the oxygen cycle. What are those processes? The first process is respiration. Now respiration is just taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, water and energy, as we had discussed in the previous cycles. Combustion is the other process that is involved in the oxygen cycle. Now what happens in combustion? During the process of combustion, that is for burning, oxygen reacts with carbon to form carbon dioxide gas. This you might have seen when you burn something. You will just see a black soot or the black smoke coming out. So what is that smoke? It is just the formation of the carbon dioxide from the carbon when कार्बन रिएक्ट्स विथ ऑक्सीजन. आपने देखा होगा कि जो व्हीकल्स में अच्छा फ्यूल नहीं डालते हैं एंड व्हेन दे ऐड अ चीप क्वालिटी फ्यूल देन यू माइट हैव सीन द ऑटो रिक्शाज, मेनी ऑटो रिक्शाज. नाउअडेज वी हैव CNGs, but in previous years when they used to add fuel that was not of a good quality, then you might have seen that smoke coming out from the vehicles, and that is really very harmful because it releases carbon dioxide into the air and it is harmful to us. Okay, the next process that is involved is the photosynthesis process. Now as we all know, photosynthesis, what happens in that process? The carbon dioxide gas from the atmosphere is absorbed by green plants in the presence of sunlight to form carbohydrates and oxygen, and thus oxygen is liberated in the atmosphere. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्लांट्स अंदर लेते हैं और ऑक्सीजन बाहर निकालते हैं और इस प्रोसेस से वो अपना फूड बनाते हैं. नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू अ वेरी 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 क्रूशियल टॉपिक एंड दैट इज़ द ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट. You have already learned about the greenhouse effect in your previous classes, but let us go through it once again. Really this carbon dioxide gas is causing a great harm to the nature, and it's only because of our human activities that we are causing this type of pollution in the air. Now greenhouse gases. What are greenhouse gases? Gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen oxide and chlorofluorocarbons that are present in atmosphere. What they do, they just prevent the escape of heat falling on the earth's surface rather than absorbing it. जो एटमॉस्फेयर में ये गैसेस प्रेजेंट हैं वो क्या करते हैं, वो अर्थ के सरफेस के ऊपर जो हीट आती है उसको एस्केप करने की जगह, उसको एब्जॉर्ब करने की जगह पे उसको एस्केप नहीं होने देते हैं. सो व्हाट हैपन्स बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, जो बाहर नहीं जा रहा है और अंदर ही अंदर घूम रहा है, उसकी वजह से अर्थ गर्म हो रहा है, बहुत उसकी गर्मी बढ़ रही है. एंड दिस increase in the temperature and increase in the warmth, this phenomena is known as the greenhouse effect. You'll better understand it with the help of a figure. You can see that some solar radiations are reflected by the earth and the atmosphere. जो सूरज की किरणें धरती पे पड़ती हैं तो वो रिफ्लेक्ट होती है, it reflects back. Now most radiations are absorbed by the earth's surface and they warm it. बहुत सारे रेडिएशंस जो होते हैं अर्थ उसको एब्जॉर्ब कर देता है और अर्थ को वार्म करता है. यू कैन सी ऑन द अर्थ सरफेस हाउ द एब्जॉर्प्शन टेक्स प्लेस. नाउ जो इंफ्रारेड रेडिएशंस होते हैं दे आर एमिटेड बाय द अर्थ्स सरफेस एंड देर आर सम रेडिएशंस, कुछ ऐसे इंफ्रारेड रेडिएशंस होते हैं जो एटमॉस्फेयर से पास होते हैं. From that some is absorbed and they are re-emitted in all directions by greenhouse gases molecules. Now the effect of this is to warm the earth's surface and the lower atmosphere. Now this is whole about the greenhouse effect. Instead of absorbing, what happens, the heat is not moving out and it moves along there and only there, and because of that what happens, the temperature on the earth increases. Now what protects this? It is the ozone layer. Ozone layer is really a boon to the earth because it is that layer of the earth which protects the earth from the ultraviolet rays. Now when three molecules of oxygen they combine, then they form ozone, which forms a layer in the stratosphere. Now we have learned about the different layers of the earth. We have learned about the lithosphere, stratosphere, biosphere. So stratosphere is one of the layers of the earth. Now it protects the atmosphere, or it protects the earth, and it acts as a protective shield. Why? Because as I said just now, that it prevents harmful ultraviolet radiations to reach the earth. Now there are some compounds like CFCs. What are CFCs? The full form of CFC is chlorofluorocarbon. Now what does this chlorofluorocarbon do? It reacts with ozone and it releases molecular oxygen, and it results in the breakdown of ozone, and which is termed as ozone depletion. You might have heard a lot about ozone depletion, but to understand it well you must know कि कुछ ऐसे कंपाउंड्स होते हैं जिनको क्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन कहते हैं, और ये क्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन जब ओजोन के साथ रिएक्ट करते हैं तो एक मॉलिक्यूलर ऑक्सीजन उसको रिलीज़ करता है, जो क्या करता है, ओजोन लेयर को ब्रेक डाउन करता है, और इसी वजह से वो ओजोन लेयर जो है वो पिघलता जा रहा है. इट मेल्ट्स and the layer becomes thinner and thinner. Now where are the CFCs found? We are very much habituated of drinking cold water from the refrigerators. We cannot do without refrigerators, we cannot do without ACs, but do you really know that these CFCs are present in the AC, they are present in the refrigerator? और जितना हम उसको ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं, हम जो परफ्यूम्स अप्लाई करते हैं, छिड़कते हैं, उसमें भी ये CFCs होते हैं. तो इनडायरेक्टली वी आर ओनली द कॉज in the ozone depletion. The pollution that we cause in the air, that is also one of the reasons in the depletion of the ozone layer. Depletion होना मतलब कम होना, पतला होना. The ozone layer or the ozone shield is a region of the Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. The ozone layer was discovered in 1913 by the French physicists Charles Fabry and Henri Buisson. Ozone is an allotrope of oxygen. Now you need not know into detail, this is just for your information कि ओजोन लेयर नाम कहाँ से आया, वो कहाँ है, उसको नाम किसने दिया. उसमें ऑक्सीजन के 3 एटम्स होते हैं और उसका मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला होता है O3. And this ozone layer has the capability to absorb almost 97 to 99% of the harmful ultraviolet radiations that sun emit, and which can produce long-term devastating effects on human beings as well as plants and animals. ये जो UV rays sun में से आते हैं, they are really very harmful to us, and thanks God that we have got a protective atmosphere and we have got a protective ozone layer which protects us from the ultraviolet rays. You can see here the different layers. You can see how the radiations they fall on the earth and the CFCs that are releasing, and because of that you can see the light blue and the dark blue shade. उसकी वजह से वो डिप्लीशन हो रहा है और ये जो ओजोन लेयर है वो पतला हो रहा है. सो दैट इज़ डिप्लीशन ऑफ द ओजोन लेयर. नाउ देर आर वेरियस इफेक्ट्स ऑफ this depletion, and what does it cause, what changes it cause. Let us see. Temperature change and rainfall, failures on earth, climate change, crop and forest damage, less ocean plankton, less fish harvest, infections and skin diseases on animals, reduction in plants, chlorophyll, marine ecosystem disturbance, and microorganisms may get harmed as well. तो इतनी सारी चीज़ों को हार्म हो रहा है जब हमारे अर्थ के ये लेयर को नुकसान हो रहा है। जो क्लाइमेटिकल चेंजेस हम आजकल देख रहे हैं, जो क्रॉप्स और फॉरेस्ट डैमेज हो रहे हैं, जो मराइन लाइफ को अफेक्ट हो रहा है, जो फिश वाटर बॉडीज़ में है उसका हार्वेस्टिंग कम हो रहा है, ये सब की वजह यही है। इट इज़ द ओजोन लेयर डिप्लीशन. You can see the statistics, and statistics shows how what was the condition of the earth in 1984, and you can see how it is in 1997. And these all figures that you can see, they are from the year 2003 to 2010. तो उसकी कंडीशन देखो और देखो कैसे ओजोन लेयर धीरे धीरे डिप्लीट हो रहा है और हमें नुकसान पहुंचा रहा है. ओके, सो व्हाट वी मस्ट डू इज जस्ट, this is a nice thing to listen. Please listen it carefully. Imagine if trees gave off Wi-Fi signals, we would be planting so many trees and we would probably save the planet too. Too bad they only produce the oxygen we breathe. ये कहना चाहते हैं कि अगर ट्रीज़ हमें वाईफाई सिग्नल्स दे रहे होते तो हम क्या करते, हम ज़्यादा और ज़्यादा प्लांट्स ग्रो करते, क्योंकि सब कुछ चलता है लेकिन वाईफाई के बिना नहीं चलता है. सब कुछ चलता है लेकिन लैपटॉप और कंप्यूटर के बगैर नहीं चलता है. तो अगर वाईफाई सिग्नल्स मिल रही है तो हम बहुत सारे प्लांट्स ग्रो कर रहे हैं. लेकिन दुख की बात तो ये है कि प्लांट्स तो सिर्फ हमें ऑक्सीजन दे रहे हैं ना, वाईफाई सिग्नल नहीं दे रहे, तो हम क्यों प्लांट्स उगाए. तो आप सोच लो कि आपको ऑक्सीजन ज़रूरी है या वाईफाई. ओके, सो just let us pledge to grow a tree to save the planet. Now as I said you in the last video, what we can do, we can just pledge to plant or just grow a plant on every birthday. हमारे हर फैमिली मेम्बर की बर्थडे जब हो तब हम एक प्लांट उगाएंगे. एंड सो वी कैन help the nature, we can help ourselves. Now for this we have the World Nature Conservation Day, a special day on which we pledge to conserve our nature. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो दिन आया उसी दिन हम मनाएंगे और उसी दिन प्लांट करेंगे. जैसे कि हम देशभक्ति सिर्फ 26 जनवरी और 15 अगस्त को दिखाते हैं और बाकी के दिन कभी हमें देश की याद नहीं आती है, वैसे ही अगर हम प्लांट्स के बारे में सोचें तो अगर साइंस डे है, अगर एनवायरनमेंट डे है, अगर नेचर कंजर्वेशन डे है, तभी हम प्लांट ग्रो करेंगे? नहीं. ये दिन इसीलिए मनाए जाते हैं कि हम याद करें कि हमें प्लांट्स कैसे हेल्प करते हैं. सो वी हैव द वर्ल्ड नेचर कंजर्वेशन डे and it is observed annually on 20th July. So on 28th July, just this day reminds humankind about the importance of nature and the need to protect it. And the day is marked globally means throughout the world, to spread awareness about the best practices to protect the natural resources. तो हमें भी ये resources बचा के रखने हैं, हमें भी नेचर को कंजर्व करना है और हमें नेचर का ध्यान रखना है. ओके, so now what initiatives should the government take? They also have to take some serious steps for over exploitation of wood, water and other natural resources, because a safe environment plays an important role in the existence of life on the planet. And continuous use of natural resources, resources में R की स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक मुझसे हो गई है, प्लीज़ करेक्ट इट एज RESOURCES, can lead to the biggest imbalance in the atmosphere. So we must protect the environment and we must make efforts to save our environment. So in conclusion, I would like to say that we need to conserve our natural resources and use them in a sustainable manner in order to preserve it, to conserve it and to lead a better life. Now hope you have understood the lesson well. I know I have gone very fast, but these are the topics which we deal every day in our day to day life. So if you just go through it once, if you read it once, we'll understand it very well. Just you need to concentrate on the four cycles more, on the carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle, and the water cycle. Okay, try to answer these questions. I'll just zoom it so that you'll come to know the questions. Water is known as a wonder liquid. Explain. Why is the nitrogen cycle supposed to be an ideal cycle in the biosphere? State various steps and processes involved in the nitrogen cycle in nature. What are CFCs and how they are harmful? Mention 3 ways by which atmosphere regulates the average temperature on Earth. List 3 human activities responsible for the pollution of water bodies. Name the various organisms involved in nitrogen cycle. What does the presence of smog in an area indicate? Now this smog I have not explained, but you know what is smog. If you don't know, just find it out, and if you don't understand, you can ask me anytime. Smog you have learned in your previous classes. Okay, now explain the terms nitrogen fixation, nitrification, and denitrification. And the last question is, list any 3 human activities which would lead to an increase in the carbon dioxide content of air. Now read the lesson first and then try to answer these questions. Hope you have understood the lesson well. I have tried to cover all the topics from the lesson in both these videos. In the third video next time, I'll be just revising the whole chapter once, and at a glance I'll just revise all the contents. If you still have any doubt, please feel free to ask me anytime. Hope you have a nice day. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.